Well, Emily Sparks, your prayers were not wasted. Your love was not all in vain. I owe whatever I was in life to your hope that would not give me up, to your love that saw me still as good. Dear Emily Sparks, let me tell you the story. I passed the effect of my father and mother. The milliner's daughter made me trouble, and out I went into the world to pass through every peril known of wine and women and joy of life. One night, in a room in the Rue de Rivoli, I was drinking wine with a black-eyed coquette, and the tears swam into my eyes. She thought they were amorous tears and smiled for thought of her conquest over me. But my soul was 3,000 miles away, in the days when you taught me in Spoon River. And just because you no more could love me, nor pray for me, nor write me letters, the eternal silence of you spoke instead. And the black-eyed coquette took the tears for hers, as well as the deceiving kisses I gave her. Somehow, from that hour, I had a new vision. Dear Emily Sparks. They would have lynched me had I not been secretly hurried away to the jail at Peoria. And yet, I was going peacefully home, carrying my jug, a little drunk, when Logan, the marshal, halted me, called me a drunken hound, and shook me. And when I cursed him for it, struck me with that prohibition-loaded cane, all this before I shot him. They would have hanged me except for this. My lawyer, Kinsey Keene, was helping to land old Thomas Rhodes for wrecking the bank. And the judge was a friend of Rhodes and wanted him to escape. And Kinsey offered to quit on Rhodes for 14 years for me. The bargain was made. I served my time and learned to read and write. When I went to the city, Mary McNeely, I meant to return for you. Yes, I did. But Laura, my landlady's daughter, stole into my life somehow and won me away. And then, some years later, whom should I meet but Georgine Minor from Niles, sprout of the free love Fourierist gardens that flourished before the war all over Ohio. Her dilettante lover had tired of her, and she turned to me for strength and solace. She was some kind of a crying thing one takes in one's arms, and all at once it slimes your face with its running nose and voids its essence all over you, and then bites your hand and springs away. And there you stand, bleeding and smelling to heaven. Mary McNeely, I was not worthy to kiss the hem of your robe. They have chiseled on my stone the words, his life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man. And those who knew me smile as they read this empty rhetoric. My epitaph should have been, life was not gentle to him, and the elements so mixed in him that he made warfare on life, in the which he was slain. While I lived, I could not cope with slanderous tongues. Now that I'm dead, I must submit to an epitaph graven by a fool.